What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome to my road to the Premier League. Here we are at the end of season 3 with Billericay, so our first full season in the Blue Square Bet Premier. And here's the English season review here. So the season accumulated with Stockport County lifting the Blue Square Bet Premier title and Southport County and Tamworth looking forward to playing at a high level next season. Meanwhile, at the other end of the table, misery for Braintree, Hereford United, Nuneaton Town and Hyde facing the agony of relegation. So basically, we didn't get relegated and we didn't get promoted, but I'm still so happy of how this season went. It was a great season and we've definitely made strong strides from being the kind of lucky promotion from the Blue Square Bet South into I believe a comfortable Blue Square Bet Premier team now. So let's just click into this season summary in what was, you could say, an average season for some teams and a great season for us. So here we go. We see Man U won the Premier League, Bolton, West Brom and QPR getting relegated. Peter Crouch top goal scorer. Wow. If that happens in real life, wow, just wow. So like I said, Stockport won it. Tamworth went through. Braintree, Hereford, Nuneaton, Hyde got relegated. Tamworth were the overachievers. York were the underachievers. We didn't do any signings of the season. Weren't any worse signings of the season. So a couple positives and negatives there. Anyway, and in terms of cups, Man City won the Capital One Cup, Arsenal won the FA Cup, Chelsea won the Community Shield, Johnstone Payne went to Bradford, FA Trophy went to Forest Green. So like I said, we weren't anywhere in there, but it wasn't about that, it was about the league purely alone, and it was just a great end to the season. Let's go into the transfers before I show you anything into the league and things like that. So let's have a look at the people who left our squad past January. So Nicky Morgan, a goalkeeper, left on free transfer to Whitehawk. Here we go there. It just wasn't good enough really, and basically off he went. He was just there for backup. Mark Higley went off to Tonbridge along with Ethan Mannion. Ethan Mannion, shamefully, like I said, couldn't adapt to the step up. I knew people wasn't, but I didn't think it would be Ethan Mannion. He's got some great mental stats there. Physical stats could be improved upon. A couple of technical stats as well, but a great striker for this level. But shamefully, he couldn't do it for me, and he couldn't do it at the Blue Square Bet Premier level. So I think he's just a one league wonder there, a Blue Square Bet North player. But with the goals he scored last year, I'm going to say that's a big disappointment that he couldn't adapt. And he definitely was a huge part of the team at the start. So when we look back at this, when we're already up in the Premier League, we'll say, oh, Ethan Mannion, he was a great striker for us at that time. George Wickings then also left. He scored a couple of goals from the last episode. You'll probably see his name. I mentioned it quite a lot of times, actually. So he left. I didn't feel he was good enough anymore, but he's got some great standout stats here as well, along with pace and stuff. But I didn't feel he was good enough anymore. And Sam Leachmere from the first couple of seasons as well, again, just didn't meet the standard I needed anymore, so off he went. In terms of the incomings, we've got Chris Dillon from Dartford, a centre mid, young centre mid as well, so got some great potential ahead of him, got some great pace passing there and physical stats as well, like pace acceleration. So looking forward to see how this guy develops. Alex Osborne coming to try and replace Ethan Mannion. Again, physical stats not too great, mental stats all right. Hopefully he can just be here though. He's not going to be any main star striker. Hopefully that'll be Will Brister, but injuries have plagued him this season, so Alex Osborne has filled in when possible and done the job capable enough, I'll say. Next we have Aaron Pierre. I think that's how you say his name. Is English, but looks like a French name. Again, great centre-back. He's only going to be back up though. Hamati and Mick Miller, of course, going to be our main centre-backs. So backup, but we've got a great backup and got great potential as well. So whenever I do throw him in, he will be a really good player. And another loan signing to wrap up our transfers for this year. Ewan Weirin, I think that's how you say his name, coming, young Irish player from West Ham. 22 years of age though, which means he hasn't got a lot of potential left in him. 5 passing, I know his passing isn't too great, and neither is his defensive stats, but again, he's done a capable enough job for us, so it was great, good signings to have there, and I'm not actually paying any of his £475 a week wage, so who really cares? I don't really care if he plays or not then, doesn't really matter. So let's just go into the league table now and see actually what position we did finish in. So we finished in a very respectable 13th place. That's where we were actually at the start of January, so the end of December. And you know what, I'm chuffed to bits with that. I mean, there you go, 17 wins, 12 draws, 17 losses, 61 scored, 69 against. Well, hey, minus 8 goal difference at 63 points. That's respectable enough. And if you actually compare, we had 63 points Playoffs were Tamworth, who just scraped it with 76 points. So 13 points off them. Relegation's Braintree with 46 points. That is, what is that? If I can do maths, 4, I'd say 17 points off. So actually, we're closer to playoffs than to relegation, and that's a great achievement and a great stride forward. If we can just turn a few more, lose a few less games, turn them into draws, win a few more draws, like, you can get what I'm saying there. Basically, I want to win more games and draw more games and lose less, basically. If we can do that, if we can maybe tighten up our defence a bit more, then we're definitely capable of getting playoffs next season, if not minimum top half the table. But for this season, it was just survival and mid-table. This position as well, 13th, it pretty much exactly mid-table, was more than I expected. So that was really, really great. So look at our past positions, actually. Billericay. So as you see, it was a bit of a poor start to the season. Of course, it did improve, but it dipped back down again, and we struggled really. We just mediocre, stuck at mid-table. You met me around, I think it was, what's mid-table? I think you met me around here. I think it was anyway, somewhere around this stage, because we were up in there's 13th. So we were up around here. You met me, so it's quite a good time. You did the review. Actually, we were on a bit of our up spike, but then we did drip back down again. A bit of poor run of form, but we built our way back up, and we just stuck to a steady 13th place. So I'm absolutely a fantastic achievement for the club. I think great strides forward, like I say. Hopefully next year we can improve a bit more on it. Maybe if that poor second half of the season is improved to a bit better, maybe a bit more like the second half of the season, we can get a top half table finish. And that's all we've got to do. I don't want to develop too quickly, because often that can lead to relegation, lead to worse things. So I think we're building steadily. We're building at a good rate where we can maintain. It's sustainable and is very, very key. Let's go into fixtures and see actually how did we end up where we did? How did we do in the second half of the season? So last time I met you was after the Cambridge game. So we ended up losing 2 games on the trot against York and Eastleigh. So that wasn't very good, was it? 3 games now lost on a row, but we bounced back, winning 3-2 against promotion team in the end. Tamworth, Danny Mills, Alex Osborne and Jack Cunningham's getting us the goal. Drawing 1-1 to Forest Green to reply that as well, and beating the relegated team Norton in the end 2-1. You'll see Carl Kinnard there scoring. With Ethan Mannion, of course, not being there, and Will Bristow, we had to try and use the strikers we had, which means Alex Osborne and Carl Kinnard were basically rotating pretty regularly, because none of them were really doing great on form, but none of them were doing too bad either. So I just had to try and find the winning formula, and both of them scored every now and again, so that was great. So our 3-match unbeaten run was ended again, losing to Gateheads, but we bounced back straight away, beating Alfrington 2-1. Alex Osborne getting 2 goals there for himself. Drawing against Wrexham 1-1 and beating Macclesfield 3-1. Curtis Thomas getting 2 and Carl Kinnard picking up 1 as well. So that's a nice little run again. 3 games unbeaten, but we lost to Lincoln 3-1. Curtis Thomas getting nothing more than a consolation goal in the end. And we beat Dagenham Redbridge 2-0 actually. If we go to the start of the season, where is it? There. We lost to Dagenham Redbridge 5-1, so to beat them 2-0 now, I think that shows the full circle the team has made, that we're now turning games that we probably would have come into at the start of the season and thought, oh, we're definitely going to lose here. And if you look here as well, player ratings are very, very good, and we're now managing to perform very well against teams, very, very big teams. We beat Stockport, we lost to Stockport, 3-0, so we couldn't build any momentum from that great Dagenham and Redbridge win. And again, our on-off form continued, beating Barrow 3-0. Alex Osborne, Danny Mills and William Caudio getting the 3 goals there. And then to wrap up the season, we drew 1-1 with Salisbury, lost 1-0 to Kidderminster, and we won 1-0 against Dartford. So Will Bristow getting the only goal there as well. So our biggest problem this season, if you look at the form as well, is just we couldn't keep a run going anywhere. So there's 5 games without a win, followed by a loss. 5 games without a defeat, followed by a loss. So that's disappointing there. And then there's 5 games without a win, followed by a win. 3 games without a win. We were just so inconsistent, and it's what cost us maybe a top half table or even a playoff spot, the fact that we couldn't keep a run going. And especially when you look at last year when we went on that huge undefeated run. Where is it? When you go on that huge undefeated one after January, to show such a lack of consistency next season was really poor. But if we look at his first 5 games really, I wasn't confident at all. So to say at the end we finished 13th, it was so great. It was really fantastic and a great achievement really. And definitely next season, the club, because the fact that the club is young, I'll show you the average age and stuff in a second. The fact the club is young means we're only going to develop and we're only going to get better. So hopefully next season we can be competing for a top half, maybe even a playoff spot. But the main aim next season will, of course, to maintain mid-table, maintain and not go backwards and start getting relegated and stuff. So let's have a look at this squad. Let's not be on assistance report and go to my own little copy of selection info and have a look at how the team played. So our highest appearance guys were pretty much all these guys up here. So Mick Mellor, Curtis Thomas, Jack McCormick, Fasil Hamati, Parson, Mills, and of course Marco Ranieri, ever present as always. Absolutely fantastic key players to our season, and they were pretty much always there. And if you look at their average ratings as well, they were very good. So key constant performers this season for us, and hopefully they will be next season as well, because I don't see many of them dropping out. They're all pretty good players. Our goals came surprisingly from the left attacking mid of Danny Mills. Like I said, without Will Bristow, without Ethan Mannion banging in the goals, it was hard to find where our goals were going to come from. Danny Mills popping up with 13 goals there, Will Bristow with 11, but he only made 25 appearances, so we really did lack goals. Good to see that a couple people did try and pull their weight about here. But really, I would have liked, where is he, Carl Keenar to have scored maybe a couple more goals than Alex Osborne as well. But in the end of the day, we did enough to get mid-table, and Danny Mills definitely performed very well for us. Assists as well, Danny Mills, I do know for a fact, was top here. If we look at Danny Mills actually just as an individual right now, 44 appearances, one as a sub. 45 appearances, one as a sub. Let's go to here. 13 goals and was 8 assists. That means he created 21 goals in 44 starts. That is a fantastic stat to have. This means he is involved in a goal for us every 2 games. And for his stats, you'd probably say he would be a one League wonder in the Blue Square Bet North. But somehow he's managed to adapt really well. And these are one of the players I'm talking about. He's one of the players that maybe I thought he won't adapt too well to taking that step up. But in fact, he's done the complete opposite than what I thought. He stepped up really well. And shame he's only 24. I mean, he's not got a lot of developing left. I would like to improve a couple more stats on him, but I will never stop training him. And key player, really, really probably player of the season there, right there. Danny Mills, absolutely fantastic. Of course, a couple of assists coming from everywhere around the pitch as well. Again, so everyone was pitching in, trying to create goals where we could. Clean sheets, surprisingly this year we had to use another keeper, David Gregory, come in for 3 games and did well enough. 2 clean sheets, which means that if I ever need to rely on someone else, he can come in and play well. And of course Marco Ranieri running away with it. 11 clean sheets, 48 games, that isn't too great. But then again, new division, our defence was kind of shaky at the start, so I'm happy with him just to still be here, still playing. The fact that he's not complaining anymore about moving to a bigger club. For how long, I don't know. I mean, he is beyond the level of this team. Like I'm still amazed that I even signed him in the first place, but it's going to be a big ask to try and keep him for much longer. Average ratings, I would like to say that we had a load of people playing well like up here, but if you look how many appearances they played, I mean, Darl Hennessy is the only one in there really to make over 20 appearances. So I say our top performers are really these guys here. These 4 players, Danny Mills, Curtis Thomas, Mick Mellor and Jack McCormick, playing a lot of games and playing consistently well enough. So absolutely fantastic with them guys. For putting in such a great effort for the squad, especially when I looked at the start, I mean, Mick Mellor, they're only 18 as well, Curtis Thomas 21, Jake McCormick 21. They're all quite young as well, so I didn't expect them to be the players that I'd really be relying on. But either way, I'm chuffed a bit, so they played so well. And it's something interesting to kind of see that my average age of my squad, you see the oldest player in my squad is 24 for Anthony Ashman and Danny Mills. Our squad is so young. And they've got some great player potentials in it. I mean, all of these guys here with 4.5-star potential. I'm looking to see how they develop. There will be great players in the future, definitely. Will Bristow especially, Mick Mellor, Fasil Hamati, Marco Ranieri. All great players there with great potential. Carl Keenard as well, 17 years young. Aidan Blanchard, 18. All young, all with great potential. And like I said, I'm looking forward to how this squad develops, because they will definitely develop with the club and they could be here for a few more years to come. Now, something interesting, if we go on squad depth, sorry. If we go on comparison, you'll see that the average age of our players is £200 a week. That is so little amount of money. We are very tight with our budget, and the average age of our squad is 20.54. So really, I think you'd round that down to 20 years. I'm not too sure. Let's go on team stats actually and see what it says there. But our squad is so young, and it's a positive thing to have a young squad, I think. I know some people will reckon that maybe you'll have a lack of leaders or something, but the fact that our squad is young means that it's developing as well as being dominant right now. So great little attribute to have with our side there, I reckon you could say. Let's go with, does it have average age here? It doesn't. So let's go into average attendance instead. So our average attendance isn't again, isn't the greatest. 20th, in fact. Only not even getting 1,000 people average attendance into our stadium. Yet we're still going to buy a new stadium. Well, let's check on my finances in a second. That's disappointing to say. I mean, it's grown from last season. In fact, it's probably doubled, but still not filling out a lot. However, on the contrast, if you go to average attendance by capacity, we're actually one of the highest in the league. So despite the fact we're only filling out 27.73% of our stadium, it's still more than what most people fill out. So at least we're getting quite kind of a capacity stadium, you could say. And another little interesting fact I'd like to look at is salary per annum. This is how much you pay your squad yearly. And you cannot see us on there because, in fact, we are one of the lowest. In fact, we are the lowest. It says we're 23rd, but 237k a year. Us and Braintree the same. And if you look at the people surrounding us, Braintree, relegated. Hyde, relegated. Norton, relegated. So the fact that we managed to finish 13th with the budget we did, absolutely fantastic. You have to Stockport as well, finishing, considering they have the 17th lowest wage budget and won the league. That's amazing in themselves. So, yeah, we're very tight on a budget, and financially that should do us wonders because, there you go, you can actually see there. Financially, it's doing us very well. We got new sponsors at the start of the season, which meant we're raking in more money in that end. But a lot more punters are coming in, watching us play, a lot more money from that end as well. And we went from having a slight negative financials in a little bit of debt and ended up skyrocketing up. We're almost $1 million in profit there. So we're doing great in that terms. And hopefully next season, like I say, continue to build financially, get stronger. Our new stadium, I think, is a bit longer to build yet. Let's go to our facilities. Let's see how long left it actually does have. 2016, so we still have another season to do until we move to our new stadium. So hopefully I can be saying we're moving to our new stadium, moving into a new division, first season in the Football League, but only time will tell. So until next time, guys, until my January review of 2016, until then, peace out.